Hello everyone, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great day so far. I wanted to do a follow-up video to Foundation, the TV series from Apple TV that has been playing around, and I've been watching it every episode for the last few weeks. And the last one from the first season just finished, and I started thinking on all the ways that it diverged from the original books, and it is different in quite a few ways. So I'm gonna cover that a little bit from what I remember in my head of the books. It's been a while, so I might have forgotten some things. So spoiler alert: if you haven't seen the first season, I will reveal a few things from the first season, and if you want to finish reading all of the books, I will spoil some stuff from there as well, but nothing overwhelmingly big. So yeah, things that it diverges from the original book. So it seems like the series only focuses more on the first book, although it have some references to stuff that would only show up later on, namely the second Foundation. Things that I think were better in the TV series, for example, is like the whole background story for Gal, the character of Gal, which is a male on Asimov's story and is a female on the TV series. The plot still works around her. It's like some sort of protege that will help stuff on Terminus. I'm not quite sure what happens in the book anymore. I remember there was still the divergent part between the first Foundation and the second Foundation, but the second Foundation was a lot more mysterious and it could only have like some vague references to it later on in the books, while on the TV series it was immediately mentioned with some weird drama scene between the protege and the adopted child of Harry Seldon, having this romance that wasn't meant to be. And she ends up getting sent to the second Foundation, but then ends up not taking over the second Foundation. So it left wondering what the hell is going to happen with that. So that was weird to begin with. Then the character on Terminus himself, the Warden of Terminus, there was a similar character on the books with the same name and everything. Not a woman again, but it's fine. Still plays the role. The landmark that Harry Seldon had there on Terminus, where he would appear and resolve or help resolve some of the first conflicts, those were taken from the book as well. So those are accurate, but the scenes around it are not quite what I remembered. From what I remember of the crisis in the books, it was about trade. The outer worlds wanted to invade Terminus to get the most out of it, and Terminus ended up finding a way to still become relevant in that new civilization that was brooding around it with the help of the Harry Seldon insight. That would also show up from certain to certain times. That would be the only times that he would show up, or his hologram would show up to give you some pro tips on what was coming next. And from what I remember, they revolved around trading and also had some religious things on it. Religion around controlling atomic power, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I read the books. It was something like that. They needed some new technology that was lost in time, and Terminus still had it because they were archiving all the knowledge of mankind. And that's the way that Terminus managed to establish itself, or establish the Foundation itself, without losing relevance. Despite being underarmed and outnumbered, they managed to be a part of the ecosystem of the outer range or outer limit, whatever it's called. So that's what happened in the book. In the TV series, they were more for those two worlds fighting against each other. I remember some worlds fighting against each other as well. I'm not sure if it's the same names though, Anacreon and Thais. I would have to double check that, but I do remember some of them happening. But after that, they go into like this expansion through trade, and other crises emerge after that. They are no longer being mentioned in the series. Not sure if the series will still approach them or not. They seem to have diverged a little bit. But those things were different. Other things that were different, the religious world where one of the Cleons goes. I also don't remember anything like that existing. There were a lot of other world and religious references and culture references in the books of Asimov, but nothing quite like this as far as I can remember. The robot existed in the original, but it was more in service of the whole mankind and not Cleon Dynasty themselves. Cleon Dynasty didn't really exist on the books as well, as far as I remember. I don't remember them being 3 of them. I remember being 1, and then when the Empire collapsed, Cleon also sort of collapsed. And the robot sort of kept mankind in check before and after the Empire collapsed, but could not avoid the Empire collapsing. There's a whole journey in the Foundation books where they first discover what the robot is and the role that it has. And also one of the books is like a prequel to the Foundation themselves, and it tells the story of Rach. So Rach was a real character in the books, and also how it relates to the robot. So as far as I remember, there was a tighter connection between Harry Seldon and the robot and Rach before the collapse of the Empire, which didn't seem to appear on the TV series themselves. Might get revealed later on, might not. The whole thing of the robot being religious, I also have doubts if that was somehow existing on the original books or not. I don't think it has, but I'm not quite sure anymore. And I remember some other things in the book that were like awareness of or predictions of what things would be in the future. And they would be able to detect where to go or where there wouldn't be anything, like some sort of evolution in the prediction model, which the series sort of touches through the whole what's the name of the character? Hold on, let me check real quick. For the whole Gal Dornick, Salvor Arden, for the whole Salvor Arden timeline, she has like predictions. Well, Gal herself also has some sort of predictions on, and they relate at the end. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the final of the series. Arden ends up being the daughter of Gal Dornick, which I don't believe is correct on the original books. They jump through a lot of generations, and a lot of characters show up that just become new characters and not related to the previous characters in the books. In the series, they seem to be connecting them a bit more, which makes sort of sense to sell the series a bit more. People want to have like some relation to the characters as the time goes forward. But it kind of diverged a little bit from the Foundation. I still see it as using the original Foundation concept, idea, and I still have faith for the second season that it will keep going. And in terms of storyline, I think they did a good job. The whole religious aspect is very well plotted. The political intrigue and the whole thing of cloning not having a soul is also very well imagined and weaved into the storyline. So I really enjoyed seeing those things, and I'm curious to how it will go for the second season. But it's clearly not following the book anymore. Like from the second episode, you could see that it wasn't really following the book very closely anymore. And I remember a lot of characters from later in the books, mostly the Joker and the Visiophone, which I'm very curious if it will come back or not, because those ended up being a focal point, but it would be later in the books, and I'm not sure if the TV series plot will reach that far into the future. So yeah, those are the differences between reading the book and an adaptation for the TV. It's always slightly different, but I think overall I liked watching The Foundation as a TV series. I think it worked. I think it worked how they did it. The cinematics was very good, like the cinematography of the whole thing. Some action stuff was a bit force-fed into being there, but overall I enjoyed the whole plot line and following the series, so I do recommend you watching it. But be aware that if you want to know the original Foundation story, you will still have to read the books to get to the bottom of it. Anyways, that's it for this video. Let me know what you thought on the comments below. If you already saw the series and read the books and you agree or disagree with the things that I said here, please let me know. That's it for this video. See you next time. Bye bye everyone. Take care.